For the next little bit of time, you're in the basement. We call ourselves basement dwellers. I'm glad you're here. You are the most important part of Ron's basement. You're the most important part of a lot of things. So give yourself a little pat on the back. And if you want to do something nice, give this a thumbs up. That helps us get the word out to more and more people. Well, let's talk about Canada and Costco. The Costco thing was and the best word I can think of is catalyst, but there's got to be a sign, a canary in the coal mine, right? That what we are seeing in the metals market, that it's changing. Let me read this to you. This is about Canada and Costco. From CBC, Costco now sells gold bars. This is in Canada, but are they a good investment? So let me tell you, this is great. This is typical what silver and gold investors deal with. It's a great article about how Costco Canada is selling gold and how people are buying gold. And it tells the price of the gold. You know, doesn't say anything about silver yet, but it's talking about gold. But then it turns into a hit piece. Then they start putting you down. Okay? If you're a gold investor, a silver investor, he said, gold is awesome for people who have really unstable currencies, right? Well, that would be everybody, my friend. This is Will Huggins. He's an associate professor. Oh, he's in academia. Oh, of finance and economics at the McMaster University's DeGroote School of Business. So it's good if you have an unstable currency and can represent an attractive, stable investment. Because then he goes on to say, it's just not a real problem we have in Canada, right? Like we don't have that problem here. We have a real stable, good currency. I don't know. Has your currency in Canada lost any value? I think it has. When I look at the exchange rate, here he said it's not like a herd of cattle or some land or a corporate entity. It's just a yellow rock. That's all it is, right? So this turns into a hit piece. For the most part, the reason people buy gold is because they've been told the same story we all heard as a kid, that gold was a hedge against inflation. And as a result, when we start to see the ghost of inflation rising back up after 40 years, people think, I should buy some gold. Okay, Michael, thanks. So pretty much anybody who can sell gold is able to tap into people who have these fears, inflationary fears. Then he talks about how it's people in their 70s and 80s that are really scared and falling for this, gold trick. I don't know. So buying gold is mostly done because people are afraid, not because it's been a great asset. No, it's been not a great asset over the last 1,000 years. No, not at all. It hasn't done anything in 3 years. It's the same price it was, 2 months into the pandemic. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting that, again, we get a story about people buying gold, and then, of course, that's from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They have to smash down gold. We'd like to thank our sponsor, First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold developer with 2 world-class projects in Canada. They also have a handful of other projects. When you total up all the gold in their resources, it comes to over 12 million ounces. They're worth checking out. I'll put a link to the company's website in the description below. I went to a high school called CBC, Christian Brothers College High School here in St. Louis. It was all boys. They wouldn't let me go to a school that had girls in it when I was in high school. Anyway, one of the Christian Brothers came to our school one time, and he came into one of my classes, and he gave this talk, and he talked about, I'll never forget it, about the distribution of wealth in the United States. And this was in the mid-'80s, okay? Then he talked about how crazy it had gotten before the Great Depression. I don't know why he came in and talked to us about that, but now we are at the most absurd levels of the wealthy having more assets than the poor. This is a mind blower. This is a mind blower. And I think it could indicate to us, historically, it's kind of like that money supply shrinking thing. Historically, when wealth distribution has become this out of whack and unfair, unfair, that has created major economic problems. Because, guys, it's like, think about this. It'd be like if I have a poker game and invite you over to my house, and you and 9 of your buddies show up, and you all are like, yeah, I got $100, I got $120, and we come and we sit down, we start playing poker, and I pull out a stack of 100,000. You guys are gonna be like, I'm not playing this game. This is rigged. This is not gonna work. Ron's got 100K, and we all have 100. Listen to this. Listen to this statistic, because it's a sad commentary on what's going on in this country right now. I'm going to use my bedroom voice, okay? The top 0.1, and I'm going to give you an example from these numbers that will blow your mind. The top 0.1%, not 1%, 0.1% of Americans own 11.4% of the country's assets. So we'll say 11%. The poorest 50% of Americans own just 6% of the assets. So 0.1% is 1 in 1,000. If you're looking to buy gold, silver, or platinum, do yourself a favor and check out Pimbex, the online precious metals bullion dealer and sponsor of Ron's Basement. I was a happy customer before they offered to support the channel. You'll find they have the best prices, quality, and service. I think Pimbex is best, and you will too. And be sure to tell them that you're from Ron's Basement. 1%'s 1 in 100. 0.1% is 1 in 1,000. So one person out of every let's just take 1,000 Americans, okay? We're going to line them up or put them in a room together. There's one guy, okay? There's one guy who owns almost twice as much. One guy out of 1,000 owns twice as much as the poorest 500 people in that room, okay? It doesn't work. Okay, I'm sorry, and it's a sad commentary on what's gone on in this country. And you're not going to hear about that on the Today Show or on the Children's News Network, because you know why? That 0.1%, they control the media. They don't want people to know that that's the case. That's an absolute fact. But what more important when it comes to this, what does that mean for precious metals, silver and gold? It's like the snake eating their own tail. Their greed and hubris at the top, right? Eventually, they wind up shooting themselves in the foot, figuratively, okay? And the system crashes because people just give up. And we're seeing that already. Think about this, right? Welcome to October of 2023. If you have student loans, you're supposed to be paying them back. But like 44% of people who were surveyed, they said, I can't afford. I'm just not going to pay them. I'm just not going to pay my student loans. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's right and wrong or anything else, but even with credit cards and car payments, people are just like, force majeure. I give up. I can't do it. It doesn't make any sense.